Hey guys, Malcolm here at Bug Out Brothers, and today I want to give you my impressions and my review of the Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. Stay tuned. So I'll start with the positive things about this knife. And really the only positive thing is the knife itself. When I first got my hands on this guy, I was very impressed with how solid he feels in your hands. It's got this really nice rubber grip here, and it just feels very solid. I've got actually no complaints about this knife, honestly. The knife itself is really nice. It's got the pommel here is designed to hammer and nails, I guess. I don't know, really when you're going to be using that, but I suppose it'd be nice to have. It's also got these 3 holes here, so you supposedly can lash it to a stick and use it as a spear. Again, that's cool. I don't know how often I'm actually going to use that. I know Gerber designs both these features into a lot of their other knives, so that's nothing unique to the Grylls specific knife. But I mean, overall, this is a very solid knife, and it feels very solid in your hands. I bought one for my brother. I paid $50 for the knife and sheath. I got this one on Amazon for $30. So for a $30 knife, yes, I'm pretty impressed with the quality of the knife for $30. All right, so now on to the sheath. Again, it's good quality. I like the sheath. It feels very solid. I don't think I'm gonna have to worry about this falling apart. I do have some complaints though. I really don't like the strapping and your mounting options. I guess you have a little belt loop here, and that's about it. In terms of molly, this would be very tricky to attach to molly. And that's actually my intentions. I've got a Gerber handsaw on the outside of my bug out bag, and I wanted to stick this on the outside of my bug out bag as well, but that's not going to happen without some modifications. As you see, you've got the fire starter right here. It's kind of a bitch to get out, and I guess it's kind of a good thing because that's kind of a shitty place for it, don't you think? I could easily see this getting knocked off, after you use it a couple times and kind of wears it away. I'm not a big fan of it being right here. Also underneath, you've got a stone for grinding and sharpening your knife. Now let me give you guys a little piece of advice. If you don't know how to use a stone to sharpen your knife, just don't even try. Honestly, go buy a knife sharpener. Grylls also sells a knife sharpener. What do you know? I've seen a lot of people just fuck up their blades on this. Another feature is it's got the silly little whistle. I'll get into that a little later. This was attached to the knife, which I think is very silly. On the back, it's got some hand signals on how to communicate with airplanes. I like this. I got nothing negative to say about this. I heard a story once of a guy who was out in the wilderness in Alaska, and he was lost for several days. An airplane flew by, and he did some kind of hand gesture. He didn't know what he was doing. I think he was just kind of like this, a relief that the airplane's coming. Whatever he did, it was a gesture for, I'm okay, don't land. And the airplane circled around and came by him again, and he did the same thing, not really knowing that he's giving this guy hand gestures. The airplane's like, all right, and the guy's okay, and flew off. And the dude was stuck in the woods for like another week and a half after that, all because he didn't know how to communicate with the airplane. So this is nice. Now the last feature that this comes with is a little pouch, and it's got Grylls priorities of survival in this little manual here. Oh man, that's kind of a bitch to get out, huh? So this I am really not that impressed with. I am actually kind of disappointed in this. I'm not really sure who this is geared towards, whether it's a complete noob or somebody who's got experience in the wilderness, because it doesn't really apply to either of those categories. I guess it's somebody in between. So when you open it up, it's broken down into 4 sections. You got protection, rescue, food, and water. So here's my problem with it. So it doesn't tell you how to do any of these things. It's just got some very rudimentary drawings on here. So let's say this is geared to complete noobs, right? Which it kind of is. If you took a complete noob off the street and all you showed them was this picture or that picture, do you really think that they're gonna be able to start a fire? No, there's no freaking way. And same thing with these shelters, you know, I don't know why they didn't incorporate a debris hut, right? That's kind of the basic thing. You go to survival school, the first thing they teach you is how to make a debris hut. You don't need a knife, you don't need any cordage. All you need is some sticks and kind of like a V-shaped tree somewhere. And they don't incorporate that. They do, however, incorporate the tree pit. I remember on one episode, Les Strauss saying that he's seen this in every survival book just about that he's ever read, yet he has never once in his 30-some years in the wilderness come across an ideal tree pit just like this, where the snow leaves this little shelter underneath the tree. I think that's kind of silly. This is nice in case if you actually have a tarp, which you probably don't. This thing, the snow pit, I've never even seen that. This is just a fucking joke. So they're saying that you can use the reflective nature of your blade to reflect the sunlight and hit the airplane or helicopter as it's flying by. But wait, what the hell are they talking about, man? They've got this gray coating all over your knife. So they're saying, yeah, if you have this survival manual here, but you don't have the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife, you have a better survival knife that actually reflects and you can use as a mirror, then you can use this feature. I mean, what is that? It's just a cruel joke. Now it shows you a few knots here. That's kind of useful. A few ways, again, to acquire water. You know, this is if you have a tarp and a can and a little hose, you can use this method. So that pretty much covers all the features of the sheath and the knife. My biggest problem with it, I guess, is really with the marketing and the name. You know, it says the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. And I don't even think this is a basic survival knife. So this pocket guide is my first real big issue with this knife. It's a nice idea, it just was not executed. I know for a fact Bear Grylls did not put this thing together. Somebody in the marketing department put it together. I don't even know if Bear Grylls has ever even seen this. Alright, so another issue I had was this silly little whistle. So this whistle was attached to the pommel of your knife here. So what that means is, in order to use this, you have to walk around with two hands and use the whistle and keep your fucking knife, you know, inches away from your face. And also, like, how annoying it was having that there. Now I'm going to use this knife probably 500, 1,000 times before I ever need the whistle, right? How often am I going to use the whistle? Never. So why the hell do you have it attached to the damn knife? I'm never going to use it. It's absolutely possible to survive with just this knife. It's possible to survive without any knives whatsoever. But this is not the ultimate survival knife like they're advertising. You know, if you look underneath of here, you can see all the space that's left here. You know, they could have incorporated some copper wire in there, maybe some fish hooks, some fishing lines. You know, they could have incorporated other things into this to make it just a basic survival knife, but they didn't. And the reason they don't do that is because they sell survival kit and they want you to buy this knife as well as one of their little survival pouches that has the fish hooks and the first aid in it. That's another thing. That survival manual, his priorities of survival, it has nothing on there about first aid whatsoever. I'd say, you know, I'd rather get rid of some of those goofy traps and houses that they have on there and just put one or two things about how to create a splint and how to create some bandages. So that's my 2 cents about the Bear Grylls Ultimate Survival Knife. I don't think there's anything ultimate about this. It is barely a survival knife. It's really just a knife. They could have done so much more with it, and they didn't, because they want you to buy this as well as buy their little survival kits. So that's my 2 cents about it. You know, let me know what you guys think. You know, is anything you guys agree with me? Do you disagree with me? What would you guys like to see incorporated into this ultimate survival knife? Let me know down in the comments. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more great bushcrafting, survival hacks, and product reviews.